This ain't your ordinary football show. It's the Old Dominion Football Show with Bruce Rader and Coach Bobby Wilder. Brought to you by Priority Automotive.
It's hard to believe it was 11 weeks ago, August 31st. Old Dominion fans were driving down to Greenville to watch their Monarchs play their first ever FBS opponent, East Carolina. Games at Maryland and at Pittsburgh followed, all FBS teams that were expected to spank ODU during its transition season. But as the year went on, the Monarchs grew and improved in every aspect of their game. So nobody was surprised last week when another task was crossed off the bucket list. A first ever win against an FBS team, a 59-38 romp on the road at Idaho. So what's left to be accomplished with 2 games to play in the season? Let's find out. The Old Dominion Football Show starts now. I'm Bruce Rader along with Coach Bobby Wilder as we prepare for tomorrow's last home game of the season. And Coach, let's start with that question. You seem to make history every single week, so what's left to play for with only 2 games left?
Wow, there's a lot left to play for, Bruce. Right now, as I pointed out to our players, we're 7-3. We're considered an FBS independent this year, along with teams like Notre Dame, BYU, Army, Navy, Idaho, who we just played, and New Mexico State. And of those 7 teams, we're tied right now with Notre Dame at 7-3 for the best independent record in the country. And comparatively speaking, Notre Dame played at Pittsburgh last week, lost 28-21. As you know, we played Pittsburgh close, lost 35-24. So trying to get our players to understand we could be the best FBS team independent in the country this year. That's a goal to shoot for.
Now, a few of your fans were able to make that that trek all the way across the country to Idaho. But how did your players and your staff handle the trip across the nation, the atmosphere there in that dome, and were you surprised at how well your team played?
It was a 5,400-mile trip, round trip. It took us, because we were going into the wind on the way out, it took us 5.5 hours to get there, and then the 3-hour time change. And we tried to stay on East Coast time instead of it being a 2 o'clock kickoff. We tried to keep it as a 5 o'clock East Coast time, and I thought our guys were locked in. I was really appreciative of the fans who did make it out there. And I could tell, Bruce, before we got on the bus Friday to leave for the airport here in Norfolk, we had a team meeting, and I could just see how locked in the players all were. They knew this was the one we had to go get and get that first FBS win.
Now, we knew that your quarterback, Taylor Heineke, was the best player in Division I AA, but we found out last week that he can more than hold his own against an FBS defense.
Boy, he sure can, Bruce. He was 40 for 56 in this game for 533 yards, 4 touchdowns passing. He ran for another touchdown. And comparatively speaking now, when you look at what Taylor and his teammates on offense have accomplished, big numbers against East Carolina, big numbers against Pittsburgh, big numbers against Idaho. It was just the Maryland game that we didn't have big numbers. Right now, Bruce, he leads the FBS in passing yardage. He's number 1 in the nation. He's thrown for 3,500 yards. He's averaging 350 yards a game. And by comparison, Johnny Manziel, who won the Heisman Trophy last year, is 3rd in passing yards. And Shane Carden, that we went against East Carolina, he's 9th. Taylor's having a spectacular year and really good supporting cast on offense.
Now, you say that you see every week something that your team has done that really impresses you. What impressed you most last week?
What really caught my attention this week was the consistency throughout the game on offense, Bruce. We had 621 yards, we ran 86 plays, and put up 59 points. And what really struck me on defense that I was so proud of is we gave up 31 points in the first half, albeit one of the touchdowns after a long punt return, but 31 points, 321 yards. In the second half, after Coach Nagy and the defense got together, got the adjustments, only 7 points in the second half, Bruce. And on that touchdown drive, 2 penalties aided it. We almost shut them out in the second half. I was really impressed with that by our defense.
Tomorrow you wrap up your home season against Campbell. It's senior day, and it's always an emotional day.
Sure is. Yeah, it's going to be. There's 12 seniors in this class. Our current 11, Bruce, and then we're also honoring TJ Cowart, who last year didn't get to go through the senior day. We were hoping to get another year from the NCAA, but the impact these 11 this year have had, Bruce, when I look at their career record, when I look at some of their statistics, when I look at what I'm most proud of, the job they've done this year helping the 49 new kids become part of the program, really proud of this group.
And one of those special players fans will be saying goodbye to tomorrow is one of the 250 wide receivers that you have on the team. Chris Reckling joins us tonight with Marquell Thomas.
As Old Dominion gets set to say goodbye to the senior class, only 5 of them played on the inaugural 2009 team, with receiver Marquell Thomas making the biggest impact. The redshirt senior from Virginia Beach will be forever remembered as the Monarch who scored the first touchdown in the program's return to football.
A lot of fans I meet, they always tell me, oh, you're the first one that scored the first touchdown? I'm like, yeah, I did. And that was a big experience. I didn't expect to score the first touchdown. And I feel like that's mean a lot to me because it's one of the first touchdowns of Old Dominion history.
From that first game to the last one played at the University of Idaho, Thomas has enjoyed great moments the entire way, including this past weekend when he set career highs with 7 catches for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Me being a senior, I need to be a leader, and I felt like I went out Saturday and did what I was supposed to do.
Thomas says if football at the next level does not work out, he wants to one day be a mortician.
Long story short, my aunt used to date a guy that was a mortician, and I was always curious of what a mortician was, and he used to kind of explain different stuff to me about it.
The former Bayside High School star, nicknamed Quell, says his athletic career just won't be the same after this weekend.
It does go by very fast. Experience been great. It could have been anything else I could have asked for. No other school I would have chose but Old Dominion, and being part of a great organization.
Coach, in your offense, you always need a reliable wide receiver, and boy, Mr. Thomas has been one of those.
Oh, he sure has, Bruce, and it brought back memories as you and I were watching the video of him scoring the first ever touchdown in the history of Old Dominion football. He's the only player on our team that was part of that 2009 team, Bruce, and the reason is in 2010, he ended up receiving a medical red shirt for an injury, so he got an extra year of eligibility, and we're so fortunate to have him. And one of the things, Bruce, that just jumps out to me as I'm watching that video, here he is in 2013. His best game comes in our biggest game, our first FBS win with the 7 catches, 137 yards. He's going to be one that's going to be really sad to watch tomorrow on Senior Day.
Marquell Thomas will always be the answer to that trivia question.
That's right.
Still to come, offensive lineman David Bourne's season came to a premature end, but before he graduates, he enters the 1-minute drill with Brian Parsons for the final time. And Coach Wilder's priorities of the game for tomorrow's game against the Camels of Campbell. All right, now it is time for the 1-minute drill.
All right, welcome back. We're here with the 1-minute drill with offensive lineman David Bourne. California guy, what's better, West Coast or East Coast?
I think West Coast is the best coast.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just a combination of the beautiful beaches and the women and just the sun.
Are you still watching that turtle show?
That's an alligator snapping turtle.
A Call of the Wild Man is still currently my favorite television show. I watch it regularly.
Most embarrassing song on your iPod or phone?
I have a lot of Lady Gaga on my iPod, so I don't know, probably that.
Did you know that Jack Lowney sings Hall & Oates in the shower?
I did know that, yes.
What song does he sing?
I don't know. I think he mixes in various tracks into one same sounding track, so I don't know.
Private Eyes?
Probably Private Eyes, I don't know.
Last movie that you shed a tear at?
Last movie I shed a tear. I don't know. Probably a tear of laughter during Happy Gilmore.
Why didn't you just go home?
Get in the hole!
Get in the hole. Are you too good for your home?
All right, once again, David Bourne passes the 1-minute drill. Say goodbye to the Monarch fans.
Hey, I'll see you out there, Monarchs.
Are you too good for your home?
Good job, Brian. Wow. Hey, Coach David, not only is he extremely tall, but he's been a model student athlete during his time at ODU. What has he meant to your program?
Oh, he's been a rock. 32 consecutive starts, Bruce. When he started, we were 25-7, winning 78% of our games. He was always there at left guard. And this year, Bruce, interestingly enough, before he had the season-ending knee surgery. He was on Phil Steele's FBS All-Independent first team at the mid-year. He was having such a good year, but I'm so proud of what he's done, the fact he's going to get his degree, just an outstanding representative for Old Dominion.
Senior Day, always emotional. When we come back, we're going to open up the mailbag for this week's Coach's Corner and a final look ahead to tomorrow's game against Campbell. All right, Coach, time to turn it over to the fans. It's time for the latest installment of the Coach's Corner. And the first question, Kenesha from Virginia Beach wants to know, what recruiting strategies will you use to get ACC, Big 10, Big 12, and SEC players to come to ODU?
That's simple. What's your 3-5-3? What is your 3-5-3? Meaning, what's your life like the other 353 days you don't have a game? There's 12 games per year. We talk to our recruits about a lifestyle here in Hampton Roads, the weather, the fact we have an unbelievable university right in Norfolk. Virginia Beach is there, one of the top resort areas in the world. Busch Gardens, everything's here for our student athletes to have a great experience. Not a lot of those other schools can say that. Great question. Thank you.
Randy in Norfolk wants to know, are there any stadiums in Conference USA that you are particularly looking forward to playing in next season?
I like this question. We just got done in the Dome, the Kibbe Dome, where we got our first FBS win. How about the Alamo Dome, where the University of Texas San Antonio plays? You got to come with us to the Alamo Dome, Bruce.
I'm going to be there, I promise. Hey, now it's time, Coach, for your priorities of the game for tomorrow's game against Campbell.
Very important when you play an opponent, you're expected to win, that you stay focused on that process of winning. Had a good week of planning preparation. Now we've got to go execute. Number 2, improvements on special teams. We've given up some big returns. We've been focused on our coverage element this week. And number 3, make history at home. Never has an Old Dominion team been undefeated at home. We have an opportunity tomorrow to go 6-0 at home, send these seniors out the right way.
Which leads me to my final 2 fairly quick questions. Tell us about tomorrow's opponent, Campbell.
Yeah, Campbell, real excited to play this team, Bruce. I got a chance to talk to Mike Minner, their head coach this week. 2-time national champion safety at Nebraska, was on the Carolina Panthers defense, had 18 tackles against the Patriots in the Super Bowl. His team plays like he does. They're scoring a lot of points on offense, giving up a lot of points. He's trying to transform this team.
And one final quick question. How excited are you about that new home-and-home extension deal with Virginia Tech?
Oh, I'm so excited with that, Bruce. Just another major milestone for our program. Now, in a 9-year period, we're going to play Virginia Tech 7 times. We're going to have them come here to Norfolk 3 times. We're also working, Bruce, on trying to get a deal with Virginia. I would love every year to be playing either Virginia or Virginia Tech.
Sounds great. Tomorrow, the final home game of the season, believe it or not.
Wow.
Campbell, 1 o'clock at SB Ballard Stadium. Hey, we're bringing our whole family.
We're bringing them. 35th straight sellout.
Followed next week with the final game of the season at North Carolina. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you, Bruce.
See you tomorrow at the game.